The movie opens with a series of disturbing images of humans polluting and destroying nature. We then see a group of scientists lower a mysterious spherical device into the sea. It begins to spin and creates powerful waves that trap the fish in an unstoppable whirlpool. The scene then shifts to a high-profile auction in which wealthy bidders compete fiercely for ownership of an island called Green Gulf. Ultimately, an eccentric tycoon named Liu manages to outbid everyone and buys the island for 20 million. After the auction, Liu invites the other businessmen to his lavish mansion to celebrate his recent purchase. A billionaire named Cheng informs Liu that purchasing the island was a bad decision because it is inhabited by dolphins, making it a protected area where construction is prohibited. However, Liu confidently claims that he has obtained permission to remove the dolphins using advanced technology and even shows the papers. This angers Cheng, who attempts to leave using his advanced jetpack, but Liu stops him and persuades him to stay. Cheng hesitantly agrees, and as Liu pops open a bottle of champagne to celebrate, the cork accidentally strikes the jetpack's control button. The device suddenly activates, launching Cheng wildly into the air, much to Liu's amusement. Later, the party continues by the poolside, where Liu is surrounded by a crowd of beautiful women. Suddenly, one of his business rivals, Ruolan, arrives and tosses her watch into the pool, declaring that whoever finds it can keep it. When the girls learn the watch is worth 8 million, they all dive in eagerly to retrieve it. Ruolan then tells Liu that these girls only care about his money and do not deserve him. She then attempts to seduce him and suggests becoming his partner in the new island project, to which Liu agrees. However, just when they're about to kiss, a woman wearing weird makeup suddenly shows up and interrupts them. The bodyguards rush to pull her away, but Liu stops them and asks who she is. The woman says her name is Shan and that she's in love with him. She then hands him her phone number so he can call her, but Liu thinks she's just another gold digger and orders his guards to throw her out. After leaving the party, Shan rides her skateboard and soon reaches Green Gulf Island, where she enters a massive cave containing a boat. Here we discover that she is a real mermaid, living alongside other members of her species. The next day at Liu's office, he meets with other executives to discuss the upcoming Green Gulf project. A marine biologist explains that his team has installed sonar transmitters in the area, which prevent dolphins from inhabiting it. To demonstrate, he shows a small goldfish, and when the sonar is activated, the poor fish explodes, leaving everyone stunned. He also mentions that they have discovered a strange frequency that no marine animal uses, prompting Liu to urge an immediate investigation. Meanwhile, on the boat, Shan and the other merpeople gather to hear the matriarch tell the story of their ancestors. She explains that in ancient times, humans lived on land as primates. Over time, some were forced to live in the ocean, developing fish-like tails, and eventually giving rise to a species of half-human, half-fish beings called mermaids. Humans and mermaids then coexisted peacefully, but this harmony didn't last long. Over time, humans began hunting them and grew increasingly violent, using ever more deadly weapons against the mermaids. Partway through the story, the old matriarch falls asleep, so a half-human, half-octopus man arrives. He then warns the others that Liu is like those same evil humans and must be eliminated at all costs. It's revealed that Liu managed to obtain the building permit for Green Gulf by placing several devices in the ocean that generate intense sonar waves. Numerous mermaids have died, while the rest of the survivors are confined to the boat, fighting to stay safe. This is why they chose Shan, the most beautiful mermaid, to seduce Liu and kill him. To accomplish this, they had to modify Shan's tail so she could walk normally and adapt to the human world. They sit by the phone, waiting for the evil businessman to call Shan, but to no avail. Later, Liu and Ruolan are having fun when she suddenly begins to belittle him, saying that she's from a noble family while he came from a very poor background. She even calls him a beggar dressed like a prince, which makes Liu feel very bad. He thus takes out Shan's number from the previous night and asks her out on a date. Upon hearing this, the merpeople become excited and start preparing for the evil businessman's arrival. They gather weapons and patiently wait behind the door to ambush him. But to their shock, Liu doesn't show up. Instead, he has sent his bodyguard to pick up Shan. They bring her to Liu's workplace and inform her that their boss will arrive shortly. While waiting, Shan poisons a glass of water, hoping Liu will come and drink it. Moments later, the head of security arrives and starts checking Shan to make sure she isn't carrying any weapons. However, he accidentally drinks the poisoned water and suddenly begins foaming at the mouth before collapsing to the ground. Shan panics and pours alcohol into his mouth, which has the ability to neutralize the poison. The man recovers, but soon a staff member gives him more water from the same glass, causing him to collapse again. Amid the chaos, Shan finally spots Liu and follows him into his office. She tries to kill him in many ways, but every attempt backfires. First, she swings a sea urchin at him, only to hit herself on the head. Shan then strikes again, but fails to notice a glass in her path, causing the sea urchin to get stuck in her head. Finally, she throws a knife at him, but Liu turns just in time, accidentally striking her with a golf club and knocking her unconscious onto the floor. Later, when Shan wakes up, Liu regrets bringing her here and offers her a large sum of money to leave, but she refuses. This surprises him, since every other girl in his life has only ever cared about his wealth. Soon after, he spots Ruolan in the distance, so he hugs Shan and pretends to be deeply affectionate to make the woman jealous. The tactic works. Ruolan sees them together and flies into a fit of rage. Afterward, Liu decides to drop Shan off. But along the way, she stops at a roadside stall and invites him to eat chicken with her. He initially refuses, claiming the place is for peasants and far beneath him. However, his hunger soon takes over, and he ends up devouring the chicken, utterly amazed by how delicious it is. After eating half the stall's chicken, Liu is so overwhelmed with happiness that he begins to cry. He then shares with Shan that, as a child, his family was extremely poor and often had to search through garbage for food. One day, his father brought him a chicken thigh, which tasted similar to the chicken they had just eaten. Liu reveals that from that day, he vowed to earn enough money never to endure such hardship again. However, Shan responds that money is meaningless if there isn't fresh air to breathe or clean water to drink. Upon hearing this, Liu is impressed by her idealism and hands her a check for $1 million, but she shocks him by burning it. He begins to have feelings for her, and the two continue having fun and singing together. Shan sings so loudly that she shatters some glass and even dislodges Liu's fake mustache. They then head to an amusement ride, and Liu feels the joy he had not experienced in a long time. Later that night, they arrive at Shan's supposed home, where she claims to live. Soon, she receives a call from the octopus and learns that they are waiting behind the door and planning to ambush Liu. Shan asks Liu if he would like to come inside, and the billionaire eagerly agrees. Before opening the door, she asks him what he would do if he had only 1 minute left to live. He answers without hesitation that he would do exactly what he's doing, that is, spend it with her. Moved by his words, Shan quickly urges him to leave and goes inside before locking the door behind her. The octopus is furious that she let him get away, but Shan makes an excuse, saying she's far too tired tonight. But soon she receives another call from Liu, asking for a second date, to which she agrees. The merfolk are thrilled, seeing it as another opportunity to eliminate the evil man. Shan promises that she won't fail this time, yet deep down, she doesn't seem determined to carry out the mission. The next day, Liu takes Shan out for sushi, and this time, the octopus joins them, disguised as a chef and Shan's uncle. Before he can attack the billionaire, Liu's bodyguards appear and accidentally expose the creature's tentacles. Everyone is left confused, so the man quickly claims that he just bought a fresh octopus to cook for them. The other chefs offer their help and begin slicing the tentacles, causing immense pain for the octopus. Liu is shocked by the man's devoted cooking, unaware that inside, the creature is suffering and dying in agony. Eventually, the octopus can't stand the pain anymore, so he spits out a cloud of ink and escapes through the windows. This leaves everyone present confused, so Shan explains that in addition to being a chef, her uncle is also a magician. In an unexpected twist, Liu then takes out a ring and asks Shan to marry him. She is confused since it has only been a few days since they met. Liu explains that every major decision in his life was made in just a few seconds, which made him successful. He tells her that she's the best thing that has ever happened to him, as she's the first girl who isn't with him for his money. A distressed Shan then pulls out a knife, claiming she's here to kill him, but Liu doesn't believe her and begins kissing her. However, their romantic moment is abruptly interrupted by Ruolan, prompting Shan to run away. Afterward, Liu begs Ruolan to stop stalking him, but she's furious at how close he has become with the strange woman he met not long ago. She threatens to cancel their business partnership, but Liu doesn't care and even asks her to go ahead and do it quickly. Later that night, we see the octopus, who has bandaged his wounded tentacles and is furious that Shan has once again failed her mission. He suspects she's fallen in love with the evil businessman, but Shan denies it and states she's not just a killer. Amid their conversation, someone knocks on the door, and when Shan opens it, she's shocked to see Liu, who has come to apologize. However, Liu is stunned when he notices several mermaids in the room, along with the octopus spinning around. The horrified man tries to flee, but the merpeople manage to catch him and knock him out. Sometime later, the man wakes up, only for the octopus to immediately start accusing him of causing the deaths of many merpeople with his sonar devices. The octopus decides to kill him, but Liu says that even if he dies, his team will continue the project and keep launching sonar. He pleads with them to release him, promising to go to his office and shut down the entire operation. However, the octopus doesn't believe him and uses its tentacles to strangle Liu. It seems all over for the billionaire, but at the last moment, Shan cuts the tentacles, allowing Liu to escape. Everyone stares at her in shock, and the octopus even tries to kill her, but he's unable to do so. In the following scene, Liu arrives at the police station and claims that he was kidnapped by a group of mermaids, but no one believes him and laughs at his story. He then returns to his office and even shares it with an employee, but he thinks Liu has gone mad and decides to call a psychiatrist. Just then, Ruolan arrives at the office, and Liu greets her with a hug, apologizing for everything. The two head to a hotel room, where Liu also does some research on his company's projects. During this, he discovers that his company is harming the environment, and decides to visit his lab and test sonar. Once there, Liu steps into a chamber and orders the scientist to direct the machine at him. Moments later, the sonar activates, sending a violent shockwave that engulfs him in unbearable pain. He immediately falls to the floor and screams for it to stop. His assistant approaches, and Liu is stunned to hear that they had only unleashed 10% of the machine's full power. Realizing the damage he's caused, Liu immediately calls a meeting and tells the board members that the sonars must be shut down. They refuse because the construction on the island has already begun, and significant money has been invested. Just then, Ruolan appears and unexpectedly agrees with Liu, after which the sonars are finally deactivated. Later, Ruolan asks Liu what made him change his mind and decide to deactivate the sonar. Feeling he can trust her, Liu finally tells her everything about how he was kidnapped by the merpeople, who tried to kill him. He also explains that they are staying on the abandoned boat at Green Gulf Island. Hearing this, Ruolan doesn't seem surprised and reveals that her team has been searching for mermaids for a long time. In fact, they had already discovered multiple bodies, but all were deceased. Now, with Liu's discovery, they will finally locate live mermaids. She adds that they plan to pursue them to extract DNA and improve current technology to earn profits. Liu is horrified to hear this and immediately tries to call Shan to warn her, but she doesn't answer. With no other option, he decides to go there himself to prevent the impending massacre. Meanwhile, Ruolan's team has already reached the boat, only to find it completely empty. A diver plunges into the water and discovers that all the merpeople are hiding at the bottom. The mercenaries begin firing relentlessly and soon turn the water red with blood. The merpeople are forced to abandon their hiding places while desperately trying to dodge the bullets. But when they reach the surface, the mercenaries launch a brutal attack, capturing them and dragging them away. Shan jumps out of the water and attempts to evade the weapons, but soon finds herself surrounded by a large number of humans. The octopus then wraps her in his tentacles and flings her away from the boat toward the waterfall. Still, she is once again trapped when a huge net pulls her back onto the ship. Just as the attackers are about to strike, an enormous wave suddenly swoops in and carries them off. The wave is revealed to be caused by the old matriarch of the mermaids. She smashes her colossal tail into the water with incredible force, sending towering waves sweeping across the ship and engulfing all the mercenaries. In the chaos, a scientist manages to fire at her, but she swiftly shields herself with her tail. She then notices that the sonars have been completely disabled and tells everyone they are free to go. With this, all the surviving merpeople begin to escape, but Shan's tail is struck by a harpoon, slowing her down. She now struggles to flee from the ships, right when Ruolan's helicopter pursues her. Ruolan then fires a rocket launcher at the water, which creates a massive underwater explosion that propels Shan to the surface. She is hurled onto the ground by the blast and sustains serious injuries from the attack. Meanwhile, Liu is stuck in traffic when he offers a girl some money and his Lamborghini to buy her scooter, but she refuses. He is now left in a desperate situation until he notices Cheng in a car nearby. On the other hand, Ruolan orders her mercenaries to kill Shan, but before they can fire, Liu arrives using Cheng's jetpack. He tries to protect Shan and declares that they would have to go over his corpse before harming her. Ruolan fires at the jetpack while Liu desperately runs toward the sea carrying Shan. She launches several harpoons and injures him badly, but he doesn't give up and reassures Shan that he will not abandon her. In the end, he releases Shan into the ocean just as the police arrive and arrest all the mercenaries. The scene then jumps 3 years later, where a young student visits Liu to thank him for supporting young biologists through scholarships and for donating money to protect the environment. The student asks about his motivation, and Liu explains that all the money in the world is meaningless if there isn't clean air to breathe or fresh water to drink. The student then asks whether the rumors about him falling in love with a mermaid are true, but Liu denies it. The student shows him a photo of Shan being cornered by mercenaries, but Liu says that as a scientist, he should not believe in fairy tales. Next, Liu calls his wife Lucy, but she actually turns out to be Shan in a human disguise. The movie ends with the couple swimming in the ocean with other merpeople and enjoying the beauty of their underwater world together. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and make sure to check out this one too.